Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex, and this episode's subject comes in from Hussein Jarwood. I do believe I've answered one of your questions before. Good job with the good questions. What do you think about remastered, re-release games? So, with the release of these new consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One, these developers have noticed something kind of ingenious that instead of offering some kind of backwards compatibility to sort of play the games you've already bought, they realised that, wait a minute, if we just sort of upscale this a bit, add in maybe a few frames, well, guess what? We can charge them all over again and make a fuck ton more money off it. So, especially 2014, apart from being the year of disappointing and broken games, it was also just sort of a year for re-releases. Let's have a think. There was the Rayman one, the Tomb Raider one, the GTA one, the Sleeping Dogs one, the Master Chief Collection, The Last of Us. I mean, that's just 6 right off there, and there are probably some that I'm missing off as well. And it is getting to the point where it's like, all right, these are old games now. Why are you putting so much time, effort, and energy into re-releasing these games that a lot of us have already played? And some of them I do make exceptions for, like, say, The Last of Us, where potentially there's a huge audience of people who didn't play it on the PS3 because maybe they had a 360 and they moved over to the PS4. So I can see it there, but at the same time, it's like it is getting to a point now where it's blatantly obvious that these companies are doing it just so they can get a quick buck from it, because it seems like quite an easy thing to do, and it does work. The reason they keep doing this is because they are making a ton of money from it, because we are buying them all again, and it's a trend that's going to keep going and going. We're still getting things like DMC is coming out, the remake and the or the reboot or whatever. And Saints Row is coming out as well. And it's like, dude, just give it a rest. God, we don't need this many. I have a few exceptions to the remastered sort of re-release rule. And that's, like, for example, I know I'm a Halo fan, but the way they do their remakes and remasters it sets the precedent for what they should be, the quality they should be. They actually do totally overhaul it and make them look brand new and give you that feature to press the back button and have a look how they used to look. And it's also when it's a game that something like Halo 2, like Halo 1, that you couldn't play well, you could play it technically on a 360, but it's a game that maybe you couldn't play online, like Halo 2. So it gives you a reason to revisit it, especially if they did do the graphics like that. But with things like DMC, with things like Saints Row and Tomb Raider and all this, it's like you can still play that and buy that whenever the fuck you want on your 360. And when the best games of the year are re-releases of the games from the year before, it's just like, please, just stop now. You made your money. You know, I'm starting to see through this ruse. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, like, oh, I want to see this remade, I want to see that remade. No, you don't. You want to see these studios making new things, advancing, not just shitting out the same thing for you to eat up all over again. With that being said, though, that I was having to think about which games I would actually like to see again be remade in that sort of way. And the only one I could really think of was the Mass Effect trilogy, but only under one sort of rule, and that would be fix up the loading times and the weird segments in Mass Effect 1 with, like, the lifts and shit, and sort of retool it and stuff. Like, there needs to be a point to it. It can't just be, hey, look, here it is again. We haven't changed anything. Maybe there's a map in here for the shitty multiplayer that you don't care about. But it has to be a reason for it. Like, maybe if, like, the Mass Effect 1, like, they were all linked, so you started and it just automatically started Mass Effect 2 or something. So just a reason, and it obviously has all the DLC and everything, because there's no way you can, like, buy the Mass Effect trilogy at the moment that has all the DLC. I don't think so, at least. I know you can buy the, like, trilogy pack, but it doesn't have all the DLC, I'm pretty sure. But apart from that, it's just comes down to the fact that I just want new games. I've played all this shit. It's done. It's in the past. You can go back and play it if you want, but I don't want to live in the past. I want to see what these new consoles and these new developers can do. Well, hopefully the DMC and Saints Row ones are sort of going to be the end of this trend of just remaking every fucking game, no matter what it is. And it will gradually start sort of going into the proper new releases and things. Because we get enough sequels and stuff as it is. When you're adding on all the same games on top of that, all these remakes, it's getting a bit much now. I don't remember when the 360 came out that we were getting all these fucking remakes and things. Oh, but because, as I said earlier, there was backwards compatibility, so you didn't really have to worry about that, and they couldn't get away with it. So where do you stand on this whole remastered, re-released game thing? Personally, it does irritate me to the point it's gotten to now. I can stand it here and there when it's for really decent games or ones that I couldn't have played previously before, but what do you think about the whole thing? So tell me in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated, and make sure you leave a suggestion for future Jar Blabs. I'll see you next time. Bye. Good, James. Is that what you're gonna?
Yeah. James.
You're James.
Yeah.
Right. What's your favourite thing? Cars? It's not anime. It's not traps. You love traps. And that's all the questions I prepared. Gonna have to think of something else. So